What is up, players? WarbossTae up in his mug. Welcome to my take 2 of the Game of Thrones video game podcast. And this is a second attempt at trying to get it done right. The first time we went through, the thing was frozen on like this first opening screen. I guess it didn't render correctly. The image, rather. You could hear me fine, and the game audio was fine, but I guess it just didn't show up. So we're gonna try it again, see if we can get it all worked out. I've adjusted some of the settings, so everything should be fine. So let's begin. Game of Thrones is a video game made by Telltale Games, who've made such classics as the Walking Dead video game, the Tales from the Borderland, Wolf Among Us, and they've got a whole bunch of other projects in the works right now. I hear they're doing a Avengers or Marvel video game in this kind of style as well. The game itself is rated M for mature, so that means that there's a lot of swearing, there's a lot of bad words, there's a lot of gruesome imagery, and even though the characters are this kind of cartoony, cel-shaded, not really realistic looking character models, the violence gets pretty gruesome. There's lots of throat slitting and stabbing and crushing by all sorts of horrible things. So keep that in mind if you are squeamish about such things, or if those kinds of things are not your cup of tea, then please feel free to turn this off. The Game of Thrones universe is very brutal and deadly, and for anyone who's read the books or watched the TV show, bad things happen to good people all the time. It seems the good guys just don't get a break. And so what I'm gonna do is you make choices in this game, and depending on what your choices are and what you decide to do, it will change and shape your character. Other characters will remember the things you say, the things you decide to do or not do, and so that kind of shapes the narrative, which is what these Telltale Games is so good at doing. So for my playthrough, I've decided to go the PG Walt Disney style and make all of my characters honorable and make good choices and try to help other people out. Now, the tricky thing with that is the game is excellent at making you think you're going to go and do one thing, and then when you get to the actual decision-making process, all of a sudden it's a lot harder to stick with that plan, and it's easy to get very wrapped up in your emotions. And if someone's betrayed you or hurt you in the past, this game makes it very tempting to try to get back at them, and even if that means you lose your honor and your integrity as a result. So I'm going to try to keep the moral high ground. We saw how that worked for Ned Stark, but I think it's the more interesting route to take. If you want to see a video game playthrough or a let's play where the characters are just brutal and selfish and dishonorable and stab each other in the back, that is definitely more Game of Thrones style, and there are actually other game casters out there that do that. I've just decided for my playthrough I want to be a little bit more honorable and do the good thing and the right thing, even if it means bad consequences for my characters. Alright, so we're gonna get right in. Like I said, I played this already, but because of technical issues, we're gonna have to start it over. This game is very cinematic. There are some times when you get to control your character. That is when I'll do most of my, I guess, narration. In general, I'm gonna let the game speak for itself.
The great Jamie Lannister, Kingslayer, Oathbreaker, brought to his knees by the men of the North.
And set free by the women. You'd think he'd done it himself the way he tells it. Lord Forrester's sword won't clean itself, you know. Make sure it's spotless this time. Lord Forrester won't be happy with blood and brain. Now that is a proper sword.
I'll have one like it myself someday.
You? You'll never have a sword like that. I say that as a friend. And if we're being honest, you are just a squire.
I will. You'll see.
Of course, your lordship. After you take your rightful place on the Iron Throne.
I had a hand in it, you know.
A hand in what?
Capturing him.
He was nowhere near the Kingslayer at the Whispering Wood. He was so drunk he barely made it out of his tent. Next he'll tell us he caught Tyrion too.
Shh. Let him finish.
Oh, he'll talk all night if you let him.
You captured the Kingslayer?
Aye. Well, I had a hand in it.
Aye. A hand round his ankle as 10 others took him down.
See? What did I tell you?
I brought him to his knees.
Lord Forrester.
But not before he dragged you halfway across the battlefield on your face.
You're questioning Norrin's honor.
I'm questioning Norrin's story, which grows more far-fetched every time he tells it.
Get your liege lord some wine. Go on. It's your job.
Right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Garrett. I'll do it. Norrin's family has faithfully served House Forrester for centuries. His honor is beyond reproach, and House Tully is forever in his debt. They've never seen a field ploughed so well as the day the Kingslayer dragged poor Norrin across the battlefield. Fetch your cup. Tonight we celebrate. To Robb Stark, the King in the North!
The King
in the North! Tomorrow, we march on Casterly Rock, and House Forrester has been given the greatest honor to lead the Young Wolf's army and ride as the vanguard!
The gods have favored us. Onward to Casterly Rock!
Aye! Death to the Lannisters!
Aye! Iron from ice!
Aye!
Garrett,
Yes, my lord?
I need you to keep an eye out for Roderick. As his father, I could not be more proud of the man he's become. On a night like this, men find false courage at the bottom of their cups. I'd rather he were here.
Yes, my lord.
There's also the question of what's to be done with you. It's been on my mind for a while now. Something must be done.
With me, my lord.
You've served House Forrester well for several years now, but I can't expect you to squire forever. How shall I reward your loyalty? What can I offer you? You served me well.
Let me fight for you, my lord.
You've more than proven your ability on the battlefield. No man would question that. There were those who had their doubts when your uncle put forth your name as my squire. But you've erased those doubts entirely. It would be an honor to see you riding by Roderick's side in the vanguard tomorrow. Not as a squire, but as the equal of any man who serves House Forrester. It's well deserved, Garrett. Your hard work has paid off.
Thank you, my lord. I promise. I won't let you down.
That I don't doubt. But for now, keep this between us. We're celebrating tonight. I wouldn't want the other squires to feel discouraged.
Yes, my lord.
Now go, and find Roderick if you can.
I will, my lord. Thank you.
Bloody hell. Empty. Squire! Fetch us more wine.
Can you give me a hand? Come on. Make it up to you.
Yeah, no problem.
I have been a squire longer than you.
So?
I outrank you. You should help me.
Fetch more wine, scrub my armor, clean my boots. Just my luck to end up with Norin while you serve the Lord. Let him fetch his own wine for once. He's a drunk, a liar, and an arrogant prick.
You'd better watch your tongue, Bowen. It could be much
What
worse.
the fuck do you know about it? Nothing is worse than Norin. See, that's where you're lucky. Low expectations. If I'd grown up covered in pig shit, shovel and slop, well, maybe I'd think saddling his horse was the greatest honor in the Seven Kingdoms. I suppose this beats pig farming. But not by much.
Who doesn't love bacon?
Ah, pig farmers. All I'm saying is, at this rate we'll never be more than this, which is nothing. The lowest of the low. For all I know, we could be squires for life. All in wine around a fucking wedding. What a waste of fucking time.
Give it time. You'll get there.
More easy for you to say. Maybe if my uncle were castellan at House Forrester, I'd feel different.
Who my uncle is has nothing to do with it. How much further?
Well, it's right over there.
Take your time.
You lot have drunk your share. Good thing Lord Walder's in a generous mood.
Fucking phrase.
Nice night for a wedding. Not often he finds a willing husband for one of his daughters.
Don't expect me to carry it for you, Sir Garrett.
What? What's wrong? What's gotten into you? You're acting rather odd.
You've had too much wine.
We need to get back. Now.
They're fine, they can wait.
No, you don't understand. We need to go.
And take the fucking flagon already.
What's wrong with him? Something the matter?
Bowen, we have to go.
You go if you're in such a rush. But what about... What the hell was that about? Slow down, would you? What's the rush? Just don't need a fucking run.
They've got weapons.
Who brings fucking weapons to a
We
wedding?
need to find Roderick. He's out there by himself.
Fuck! We need to get back to camp! Garen, we have to get back! A gift from the king! Ready, boys! Whoa! Shoot that one! What?
Garrett, did you find Roderick?
Speak up, Garrett.
Did you see him or not?
The Freys. They slaughtered him, my lord.
Find a weapon, quickly! You fucking traitor!
Go, my lord, while there's still time.
Seven hells.
We have to keep moving, my lord.
I'd never make it. They'll hunt us down like dogs.
Walder Frey says time. Don't run,
Guard this with your life. Return it to Ironrath, where it belongs. There's no time to waste. I'll be damned if I let it fall into the hands of those traitors.
Walder Frey says
You have to go.
You're welcome to the fucking torch.
I won't leave you, my lord.
Can, and you will.
My lord,
By the gods, you will obey me. Tell your uncle.
Tell him. The North Grove must never be lost.
Tell no one but him. Do you understand?
You must swear. Tell only your Uncle Duncan. The future of the house may depend on it.
I swear that I will, my lord.
Hey, it's those foresters.
Now go.
On your honor, you must do this for your house. Go!
Kill those fucking foresters. With love from Walder Frey.
Alright, exciting. What a great prologue to the game. I mean, it immediately throws you into the action by giving you a very recognizable, iconic event that happens in both the books and the show, and giving you the chance to get a feel for the mechanics, how fast and crazy it can be. As you can see, it's an adventure game, which means that there's a lot of time-sensitive contextual actions to take. The dodging with the arrows, making sure you highlight the correct icon and click on the mouse cursor. And it's just a great way of implementing all those design elements into this game. Personally, I love that they took the HBO show beginning with this clockwork map. And there you go, Game of Thrones. Episode 1, Iron from Ice. That is the slogan, the words of House Forrester. And I think that's the only piece, or the only decision that I didn't make on time. I was trying to figure out what to say when everybody was cheering, and I decided, too late. Somebody else said it for me. I was like, ah. So here we join Garrett Tuttle, the son of the pig farmer, squire to Lord Forrester, as he's on his way back home, I think, from the Red Wedding. And immediately you can see, just once you gain your control of your character again, this is kind of one of the two ways this game plays. The first way was, as you saw, very cinematic, where you don't really have control over your character. Your character gets kind of carried along through the scene, and you're basically there to hit the arrow buttons, move your mouse, and click on certain things as soon as they happen. If you saw that one part where he was struggling, my character was struggling with a Walder Frey soldier, you have to hit the Q button really quickly, and then hit the E button, and so it's really easy if your finger is not on the trigger, if your hand is not on the mouse, or on the controller. Or if you look away for just a second, the dialogue choices, the time will run out. You could die. The very first time I tried recording this gamecast, I was really slow on a lot of the commands. So where he would be running towards the guys with the crossbows, I didn't dodge in time, and poor Garrett here got a bunch of crossbow bolts in his soft, squishy little body, and that was the end of that. Another time, I think I got trampled by a horse. It wasn't very good, my first outing, so I wanted to make the first episode exciting, fun to watch, and that's why I honed up my skills a little bit. But everything for me from this point of the game is going to be new, and so I hope you'll join me and follow along as we continue with this series. Like I said, I love the Game of Thrones universe. The World of Ice and Fire, the Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin is very intriguing to me. The human elements of it, integrity, honor, betrayal, and pride, selfishness. The way we can really follow along with the different characters, I think, is a great, is just really well written and fun to watch. So thank you for joining me in episode 1. Stay tuned as we continue and find out what happens to Garrett next. Another interesting thing that I like for anybody who is into the hobby as much as I am, if you're looking for a paint scheme for your miniatures and you want to follow along with the Game of Ice and Fire, or Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones color scheme, if you take a look at Garrett right here, his outfit is a bunch of very drab colors, which if you watch the show, you'll notice that a lot of the characters too, their clothes are dirty, they're muddy, they're dark, they look like they're sun-beaten and really weathered, and so those colors can carry over into your miniature painting. If you remember when I painted my Bretonnians a while back, my Bretonnian bowmen, I wanted them to be very dark and dirty and earthy, and even though that might not look very good on the battlefield, where bright colors really stand out against the terrain, if you want to stay true to the show and create a very thematic painted army, then doing this kind of style of dark browns with some very dirty beige colors is the way to go. Especially if you see this character, Garrett has the sword, his lord's great sword, strapped to his back. That is where the light plays off the most, and along with his face and his hands. So the artists in this game, really great. If you take a look at all of the environments in the game, in a little while we're going to go to, I've seen screenshots of the east where Daenerys is, where the colors are a lot brighter. And I've seen King's Landing scenes. Obviously, if you saw that one screen at the beginning of the video, you saw Tyrion, so we know we're going to go to King's Landing at some point. And I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for joining me for this gamecast, this episode 1 of the Game of Thrones gamecast on my channel. I hope you have enjoyed it, and please let me know if you'd like to see anything done differently, or if you have any suggestions. And also let me know what you think of the writing. I'm really a fan of how they took a very iconic event, the Red Wedding, and how they made it the opening for this video game, but you don't really participate in it. You're really on the outside with the main body of the troops, and so it's kind of like you're getting a separate perspective from a very important event in the books and in the show. And I think this game is going to do a lot of that, where you're going to be kind of on the sidelines of what's happening, seeing everything from a different perspective and participating in your own little way, but really not driving the narrative forward as much as the main characters do. So thank you again for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little podcast, this little gamecast. And again, leave a comment down below, hit the like button, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you in the next video. Laters!